All right, friends, we're back and we've done a lot of cleaning and smoothing, and this bowl looks really clean. It's really nice and smooth and flat. And it looks like all the rocks are gone, but really we just pushed them on the inside. I'm going to take this and set it aside. You remember that little chunk of clay we grabbed off that first video and we put it back in the bag? I'm going to grab that. I still have some wet pieces from my scraping, so I'm going to just, with a hydrated hand, I'm going to squish it back into itself. And it's slimy clay, squish it into a log, fold it in half, squish it into a log again, fold it in half. Okay, and this is going to make the clay slimy, then sticky now, and then it'll be perfect. So slimy, sticky, perfect. All right, we're going to make something called a foot ring out of this lump of clay. So first things first is we're going to go ahead and compact. Compacting our clay is we're smacking it into a ball shape. We're pushing all the particles to the center of the clay, right? So we're smacking up, we're smacking down, we're smacking up, we're smacking down. Okay, constant smacking. And we're rotating it as we're smacking to make sure we get it all compacted and all of the air pockets out. Okay, so now I have a ball of clay. All right, next step is we're going to turn this ball of clay into a log. So I'm going to just squeeze it a little bit in one hand, squeeze it a little bit in the other hand. I'm going to pass it back and forth between my hands and start to squeeze it into like a pickle shape. And then rotate it in your hands, rotate it, and squeeze. Okay? Rotate, 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 and squeeze. If your hands get dry and crunchy, just get a little bit of moisture on them. Okay, this needs to stay moist because we're going to ask the clay to bend. So now I've squeezed it into a fairly long log. Our next step is to do something called rolling a coil. Rolling a coil, you're going to put your fingertips on and you're going to roll your hand on and then rock your hand up. Roll, rock and roll, okay? And when you rock and roll, you want to work your hand to the left, rock and roll, work your hand to the right. Don't stay in one place for too long because then that area will get really thin. If you push really hard, then you have a thin spot. So you want to do medium to light pressure all the way across. Rock and roll, rock and roll, rock and roll. When the log gets really long, you may need to use two hands. It's starting to dry out on me, okay? And my clay was really moist. So I'm going to just hydrate my hands real quick. You may even have to hydrate your surface. We're going to do two hands, rock and roll. Work your way out to the outsides, work your way to the middle. Go to the left, go to the right. Keep going. We're looking for about the thickness of a thumb, okay? About the thickness of a thumb. And this is still a little too thick. And this is starting to get really long for what I need. I don't need a piece this long. So I'm going to break mine in half. Set half aside and then touch a little bit of water on it and just run some water on it so it stays nice and wet. So if I need to use it because I make a mistake on this one, it'll be ready to go for me. Right? We make mistakes and that's okay. Okay, rock and roll, rock and roll. I'm back to one hand because it got a little bit shorter. Rock and roll, rock and roll, rock and roll. All right. Now, I'm going to measure it and see is it pretty close to the thickness of my thumb? Yeah, it's pretty close. I would say it's close enough. Okay, before I do anything with it, I'm going to grab some water and I'm just going to hydrate this whole thing. I need it to stay really moist. If it dries out, it won't do what I need it to do. So I just want it to be pretty moist. All right. Now I'm going to start to turn it into a circle. Okay. And the circle should be fairly large. If you hold up your middle finger, it should be at least the diameter of your middle finger that goes all the way to your knuckle. Okay. About that length. If you have really big hands, then use your pinky. I have like medium to small hands, so I use my middle finger, and that's roughly the size. Okay. And I'm going to take my knife tool that we made, which is this popsicle stick tool. And I'm going to cut roughly where I think it comes in a circle. So I'm going to cut here. And then the other end is not nice and clean. So I'm going to cut that end flat too. Okay. And again, I'm going to squish this clay up and keep it for other projects. So now I have this ring with 2 cut ends. Okay. I need to attach them. So I'm going to use my scoring tool, which is my toothpick tool attached to the pencil, and I'm going to scratch X's into the base of each piece. Okay. Right on the end here. I'm going to scratch X's. Next, I need my paintbrush and my little pot of slip. And I dropped my brush. I'm going to take some slip out of my little container here and dot it on the ends. If you want to make sure you got that slip in those areas really well, you can double score it after you've already slipped it. This is called slipping and scoring. And this is how we attach clay things to other clay things. Okay, and then the ends are going to meet up. Let me see if I can get a good angle on this. Okay, the ends are going to meet up, and I'm going to gently push and wiggle. Push and wiggle until the slip squeezes out of the edges. That's how I know it's made a really good connection. Don't push and squish your coil. Okay, don't push too hard. And then you're going to take your finger and just clean up the extra and wipe it away. Clean up the extra. And then blend over and make sure that seam disappears. Okay? This is a little bit of a longer step. Blend over, make sure that seam disappears. I'm just gently smoothing out the area that we just connected. Okay. I don't want to see that connection to be invisible. I'm going to just keep smoothing it until it looks nice. Okay, I'm going to make sure I try to keep this in as nice of a circle as I can. Okay, come join me for the next video, and I'll show you what we're going to do with this ring.